Okay, welcome to week 13. This week I'll be getting out on my bike as much as possible. Little man will be back at nursery this week, not Monday obviously, being Easter weekend. Lots of chocolate. I will be eating some. People have bought it for us. I haven't bought any myself, but there are eggs and Kinder coming out of our ears in my house because of my little boy. So I'll be tucking into some of that. So hopefully after this week is out of the way, I can get back on track and have my proper weeks and get out on my bike on my proper days. I can't see a lot in my way this week getting me out, stopping me from getting out on my bike. Today being, well, at this moment in time, it's Friday morning. I went out for a bike ride yesterday evening, and when I came home, I noticed in my man area that I had a raised section which was filled with blood, which is a bit manky, but you know, that's one of the parts of cycling, I suppose. I've obviously chafed quite a bit on my bike ride last night, and it must have been near a vein or something like that, which is a bit swollen, so I really don't think I'll be out on my bike today. It's quite uncomfortable to walk, it's all rubbing a bit, so coconut oil aplenty today. Other than that, I think I'll be able to get back on the bike on Sunday and take it from there. But here's hoping for a really great week, and stay tuned and see how I get on. Cheers. Easter Monday, and I don't honestly think I've been out on my bike since about Thursday for a couple of reasons. One, lots of family bits to do. Secondly, after my last ride, I had quite a lot of chafing in my man region, which has been very uncomfortable, and I had like a raised vein, which was really uncomfortable. So I'm only able now today to get back on the bike. I won't be going very far today. I have come out for more family time with the whole crew today, so this is the first time we've all been out on the bikes together, so it'll be a very gentle affair today. And tomorrow, Tuesday, hopefully as of then I can get back, bang on it, and get some more miles in. That was very slow, but we still did 5 miles. Awesome. Afternoon, guys. Well, it's Wednesday afternoon, and you're here now with very frustrated Mr. Blob on a bike. Let me explain. Normally I ride on a Tuesday. After the triple bank holiday we've just had, meant that I was really busy at work yesterday on Tuesday, since I'd not been here since last Thursday. So I had a lot of work to catch up with yesterday. So I did that. I worked all day yesterday and all into the evening yesterday, so I'm bang up to date now. However, it is now Wednesday afternoon, a non-riding day for me, but I was going to go out for a ride today. This is rare conditions here. Don't know if you can see, those windmills are barely turning, which means for us in Devon here today, we've got a relatively very calm day. However, I'm waiting for a parcel to arrive here at the man cave. It's a bit of work I need to do, and I need to get it back out today into the post. So I'm waiting for a parcel when I could be out there riding. I'm really annoyed. I'm just weighing up whether to sack it off and just do it all tomorrow, but I really need to do it today. Oh man, what to do? What would you do? Come off it. Obviously I'm going to be going out on my bike. I'm not sure really where I'm going today. I've been looking on the local bridleway and rights of way maps in Devon here, and just trying to get an idea of anywhere that might be good with a bridleway through it or anything like that, through some wooded areas. So I'm just going to go and check out some places near Roborough. It's quite close to that airport, little airport that I go to sometimes. So will it be good? Who knows? I don't know. I'm on a trail bike today, so I'm going to be getting off-road a bit and perhaps get covered in mud. Either way, even if it's not that great, I'm still going to have fun, get some exercise. Yes. Currently heading to the entrance of these woods here, which apparently have got a nice bridleway going through it. Well, it looks promising so far and largely dry. I think I like this. Well, that's unfortunate. Nothing to do with me, of course. I found it like that. But this does mark the end of this little bridleway, which is good because I know it's in a V shape, so I'm going to go off on the longer part of, like, it's a tick shape really. I'm going to go on the longer part now and see where that is. Uphill. Just found this cool little gully that seems to run all the way to the bottom. So I'm just pushing up and see if that's any good. I have to say this is much more fun than road riding for me. Much prefer off-road. Well, I've just ridden down to the bottom of that gully that I showed you a few moments ago, and this is what I've been met with. That's not on my map of rights of way, and there's nothing to stop cyclists getting down there, or any signs prohibiting it, so I'm going to go down there and see what's what. Stupidly didn't bring a drink with me. I've got about a dozen drinks bottles, but whenever I need one, can I find one? So I bought a dozen 750ml bottles, so there would always be one at hand, and unfortunately the size of the bottle doesn't fit in my Bronson frame, so I've had to come out without a drink. It was only a little recce, so I wasn't expecting to do any miles really, but I'm now stood here wishing I had a drink. I'm just pushing back up to the top of this gully again, because from the top I can explore the rest of the bridleway, and don't really want to miss anything today while I'm here. One thing I have noticed, it's been quite a long time since I've been off-road on my trail bike, and last time I did I was really unfit, and I've really surprised myself today with some sections that I've been able to ride up which I never would have been able to do 2 or 3 months ago when I started doing this. No chance. My legs aren't hurting or anything, it's just so much easier, so I'm really pleased about that, even though I'm not having a great week diet wise this week. It's really good and motivational for me to come out and see some progress fitness wise. I'm having a lot of fun. I haven't done much in the way of distance, but this is the most fun I've had on a push bike for a long time. Man, there's little offshoots off the main path everywhere. I'm never going to get around all of these today, I'll have to come back. Well, I've done about 4.5 miles now, and whilst it's been great fun, I don't think there's enough to bring me back here, so I'm glad I've explored it to its fullest extent today. I'm going to go off back to the car now. Well, there you have it. I really enjoyed that ride. Got a few cuts from the brambles and holly trees that I had to go through, but it's all part of mountain biking, I suppose. Really good ride, I think. Didn't go very far, it's only 5.4 miles, but I did manage 1,000 foot of climbing, both on and off the bike. Did a couple of push-ups, so yeah, all in all, really good little exercise. It's been a while. It's been last Thursday, actually, nearly a week today since I've been on my bike, so good little ride just to get me back in the groove. It's Thursday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing: bike time. So I've done all my work today. I'm coming out today exploring again, as I did yesterday on my trail bike. Been looking on the map again and found some more woodlands that look like it might have some trails going through it, so probably looking a bit more promising than yesterday on the map anyway. So let's go and see what's cooking in these woods here. Okay, well, I'm here now, I'm in the woods. I have to say, the only reason I'm going on these little recce's, I've asked about on forums and Facebook pages and all sorts of stuff for local cycling and stuff, and no one can seem to tell me anywhere where there's any decent trails within 20 miles of where I live, which I can't believe, because it's surrounded by valleys and woodlands. So if no one's willing or able to show me where the trails are, I'm going to have to find out myself. And here I found some woodlands with some gradient, so exploring shall commence. Okay, well, I've had a little ride through the woods slowly, just to have a look, see if I can see any trails that might lead from the main path. Zero. Not because it's not there. You know, anywhere off-road, particularly when you're coming out of the winter, you can tell if there's been any cycling activity because of tyre prints, whatever. Absolutely diddly squat in those woods there. Look at it. It's like prime trail wood. There's loads of nice gradient there that could be used for making some trails. So I think I'll be coming back here with a shovel and well, you know, before that even just testing out some lines, because it's quite low density, you know, underfoot, so should be quite easy to get something going in there. This is fun. Well, that's the second piece of woodland I've been through now. Interestingly, that part was owned by the Forestry Commission. It said open to all users, so there was no mention of any bikes being prohibited or any evidence of any cyclists ever being there before either, so not sure quite what to make of that. Don't know if you're allowed to do any trails or anything in there. I'll have to find out. I'm just walking my bike along some footpaths at the moment. I'm trying not to get hit or seen by the goat that's cruising around by the side of the road here. I'll show you in a minute. Loads of goats actually in the field next to me. They literally won't take their eyes off me and follow me everywhere I go. Well, obviously I forgot to show you the goat. When I got to the main road just there, looks interesting. When I got to the main road there was half a dozen of these goats, and they started hurtling towards me. So I shouted to a lady who was in a house nearby, and turns out they're hers. It's not the first time they've got out, so they're all back safe and sound. Just seen a trail that goes up the side of that field there, but there's a massive cow. Don't think I'll be going up there today. I thought I'd go for a little ride uphill and see if I could suss out if that was a path that ran alongside that cow that I just pointed out, but don't think it's anything at all. However, I started coming up the hill and I don't want to stop until I get to the top, because I really want to see what I can see from up here. It's quite a long hill though. Still climbing. Okay, so I reached the top and went a little bit over the dip, sorry, the peak, down the other side a bit, just so I could just try and gather where I was, and I can actually see some of the roads I ride up when I go to that little airport, so I've got a rough idea of where I am from here. So I'm going to head back now. Can't spend too long out today. I need to relieve Mrs. Blob on a bike so she can go out for a run. So I'm going to be heading back to the car from now. I'll stop off, there is a little entrance to a field. I'll stop off and show you the woods I've been riding in. Okay, I just wanted to give you an idea of where I've been riding today. See that section of woods that runs all the way along there? Nice and gentle downhill. Keeps going all the way to the bottom of the valley there. Definitely got some trail potential in there. There's not any in there already, not that I could see anyway. So it's definitely got potential for somewhere for me to ride in future. However, I still feel there's plenty of other places for me to check out that could have trails in already. So before I do anything, I'll keep looking and hopefully find something so I haven't got to get my spade out. Anyone eagle-eyed might have noticed that I'm using a camelback today. Reason for this being, I don't really like carrying things on my back, but this is the best way to do it. Anyway, on my road bike I use a saddle bag, but I'm not going to put a saddle bag on my trail bike because I'm not out of the 80s, or at least it's not the 80s now. So yeah, camelback. I need to carry some tools with me really, so it's the only way to do it really. There's no space to put any tools in a bottle because there's only one mount on this bike. There might be one on the bottom that I haven't used actually, but I can only get a small drinks bottle in there anyway, so I figure it's best to get me camelback going. Did have to buy a new bladder because it had gone manky, so I got the new bladder in there, and all good. Having to go a little bit off the beaten track at the moment. It's a bit boggy. Nice. Okay, bike ride done. That was good fun. It was slow, but it was really good to have a recce. I'm nosy and inquisitive anyway, so it's always fun for me to go and see places that I've not been before. Did 6.66 miles, if you can see that. And crucially, I've got over 1,000 foot of climbing, which always seems to be my target, really, there or thereabouts. So pleased about that. Overall, a good ride. Some tough off-road climbs I did those, you know, for me anyway. So hopefully as well that will equate to a few calories burned. So my weigh-in tomorrow morning isn't hideous. What with Easter and all that and all chocolate and stuff. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow's weigh-in will be not so bad. And that's it for this week. More tomorrow. What's up, guys? Welcome to the end of Fat to Fit by Bike week 13. Well, it's been a bit of a weird week, but there is something that I'm really pleased about this week, because I'll have to show you. Back when I started this shirt I'm wearing now wouldn't even meet in the middle. So there was zero chance of me doing any of the buttons up or anything like that today. Well, when I started, and today it's on and there's some bit of space as well. So it might seem a bit silly, but this is a monumental moment for me. I'm squeezing into some clothes that I like, so that's good. So what's happened this week? Not a great deal of cycling, it has to be said. We had Easter weekend, which got in the way. Lots of family stuff to do, so didn't get a great deal of time to do any cycling. Aside from that as well, also being Easter, lots of chocolate in my house. I did dig in. I didn't overdo it. You know, I wasn't binge eating or anything, but I did have a couple of eggs and some chocolate bars. So that's done and dusted. Now Easter's out of the way, so we can crack on and get away from that. Also, last weekend I developed a bit of a man issue in the downstairs area. Basically, I had a rub while I was out riding on one of my rides, and it just basically made like a raised vein in my groin. So I really didn't want that to get any worse. And over the course of a few days, it did improve, and that's now disappeared. So that's good. Hopefully not to be repeated. So let's get on with it. No more talking, more action. So I'm going to do the weigh-in now, and I'll see you afterwards. Also, I forgot last week to do my side-by-side comparison photos that I'll try and do every 4 weeks. So I'll try and do that on this session. Okay, so week 13 results are now in. Won't be about the bush, I'll get on with it because I know you've probably got other things to do. Okay, long and short of it basically is my weight increased from last week 17 stone and 12 pounds to 17 stone and 13 pounds this week, so I have gone up 1 pound. I'm not gutted about that at all, to be honest with you, because like I say, it was a very light cycling week miles wise, and I did eat a lot of chocolate, so I'm really pleased about that, to be honest. Might sound a bit weird, pleased that I've put a pound on, but could have been a lot worse. So onwards and upwards. Little man is now back at nursery, so my time at work during the week should free up a little bit for a few more miles. I'm hoping this afternoon to get a few miles in on my road bike. One thing I have noticed, my miles this week, I only did 17 miles on my bike this week, but they were, I'm pretty sure all of them, off-road miles, which I'm sure does more to burn calories than the equivalent on-road on a road bike, because it's much harder going and much steeper for the distance you travel generally. So more miles this week, I must do more miles anyway. My fat percentage has stayed the same at 34%, and my BMI has increased from 35.6 to 35.8 this week, so that's not great, but you know, it's just a blip, and we'll get back onto it next week. I've done a typo there when I wrote that. It's 35.8. Okay, so that's it. What does this week hold? Hopefully more bike time, like I said, and you know, less restraints, and hopefully no more groin sort of based injuries that will prevent me getting out on the bike. So thanks for joining me this week. Hope you got this far. Please give us a like, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe, because I don't know, just want some subscribers, so you might as well. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.